Walk onto any public range today and what do you see? More plastic than a department store clearance aisle, and more tactical fluff than a Hollywood prop house. I've had it up to here with fellas strapping thermal clips and specialized rails onto rifles that cost more than my first pickup truck. Let me tell you something straight. Ballistics don't care about your receipt. A projectile leaving the muzzle at 2,800 feet per second doesn't know if it came from a custom shop or a $50 polymer stock. What matters is cold hammer-forged steel, barrel harmonics, and whether that extractor grabs the brass every single time you work the action. We are cutting the fat, boys. Inflation is breathing down our necks, and the surplus market is drying up faster than a puddle in the Mojave. Today, we are looking at 9 platforms that punch way above their weight class. These are the tools you throw in the back of the truck, drag through the mud, and expect to run dirty. They are the antithesis of the tacticool nonsense. This is about maximum utility for minimum dollars. Let's get down to brass tacks. There. 22. If we are talking about the best dollar-for-dollar investment in American shooting history, you physically cannot start this conversation anywhere else. This isn't just a beginner's rifle, son. This is a bedrock institution of American liberty. The Ruger 1022 has probably put more lead downrange than any other civilian semi-automatic firearm ever made, and there is a fundamental mechanical reason for that staying power. It all boils down to that legendary rotary magazine system. Unlike the single-stack stick magazines you see on most rimfire rifles, which protrude and snag on your gear like a bad habit, Ruger engineered a 10-round flush-fit rotary system that feeds those 2.2 long rifle cartridges with unheard-of reliability. The feed lips are steel, integrated right into the magazine body itself. That means every time you swap a magazine, you are essentially refreshing a critical piece of feeding geometry. That, my friends, is clever engineering that survives the SHTF. Out of the box, you get an 18.5-inch cold hammer-forged barrel mated to the receiver using a unique V-block system. That 2-screw V-block design is what makes this platform so ruggedly modular. You can swap that barrel on your workbench in about 5 minutes with a simple Allen wrench. The receiver is cast aluminum, keeping the weight manageable, right around 5 pounds, making it perfect for shooting unsupported or carrying through dense scrub all day long. Now the factory trigger. Hell no, it's not pretty. It generally breaks around 6 pounds, which is heavy enough to drag your aim off target if you are rushing. But here's the beauty. Because the internal trigger housing is a self-contained cassette, you can drop in a Ruger BX trigger unit. Or if you're handy with stones, you can polish the sear yourself for competition-grade performance. Whether you are plinking cans, teaching the grandkids, or running steel drills, the 1022 runs like a sewing machine. It is the gold standard for training because parts are plentiful and cheap, for now. Buy it cheap and stack it deep before the supply chains choke completely. The bridge. While the 1022 reigns supreme for training volume, sometimes you need something that hits a lot harder, something built to absorb serious recoil while remaining manageable. That brings us to the heavy hitter that anchors the military arms lineage on this list. SCAR 17S. If you are looking for a rifle that feels like it was designed by people who actually finished the job in a combat zone, you start right here. The effin' SCAR 17S strides into the ring with 7.62 NATO at its disposal and a chassis that shouts, "I am ready for whatever you throw at me." Let me be clear. This is not a lightweight plinking rifle, and it sure as hell doesn't pretend to be. This is a rifle built to withstand abuse and keep functioning when everything else has hit its breaking point. Its modular, combat-proven design makes it an extremely versatile platform, especially in that hard-hitting caliber. The fit and finish are shockingly good for a battle rifle. The balance is intentionally biased toward the receiver area, which significantly aids in controlling recoil and getting you back on target faster than you should expect from a battle rifle running that much horsepower. The recoil impulse is energetic, not brutal, provided you run an adequate muzzle brake and get proper support, but you will feel it. If you plan on running a lot of heavy rounds through this machine, plan on adjusting your cheek weld and practicing single-handed reloads so the ergonomics don't surprise you when fatigue sets in on a long day. The 2-stage trigger, while not a custom match unit, is predictable and functional, offering a solid wall before a clean break. Where this rifle truly shines is in legendary durability, ambidextrous controls, and a low-maintenance, short-stroke gas piston system that is incredibly forgiving in less than perfect conditions. It keeps the bolt carrier group clean, meaning less crud where it counts. Where it loses points is the high price tag and weight compared to modern, medium-weight precision rifles. This isn't cheap hardware. It's an investment. For a serious service-grade weapon that can also function as a long-range rifle, it's an easy choice, provided you can stomach the current cost of entry. Get one now, before the next election cycle turns them into museum pieces. The bridge. That SCAR is built like a tank, but tanks are heavy. If we need big bore power without that anchor weight, we need to pivot to a precision chassis that eats recoil for breakfast while keeping the weight manageable for the hunt. Anderson AM15. In the gun community, you will hear folks call this the poverty pony because of that horse logo on the receiver. But let me tell you something, boys, that horse runs. Anderson Manufacturing has utterly cornered the utility market. This is for the working man who wants a standard mil-spec AR-15 that cycles 5.56 NATO or 223 Remington without needing a second mortgage. When you crack this thing open, you aren't seeing anything exotic, but you are seeing the right materials. Both the upper and lower receivers are forged 7075 T6 aluminum, which is the industry standard for duty rifles. It is hard-coat anodized, so it can shrug off the sweat and abrasion of long days on the range. The heart of this rifle is that 16-inch M4 profile barrel made from 4150 chrome moly vanadium steel. It is not a competition barrel, but with a 1 in 8 twist rate, it stabilizes those 55 and 62 grain projectiles all day long. The gas system is a standard carbine length setup. Now, some folks prefer mid-length for a smoother impulse, but the carbine length is blunt and reliable. It shoves that bolt carrier group back with authority, which is exactly what you want if the weapon gets dirty or runs low on lubrication. The furniture is basic A2 style polymer, which most of you are going to swap out for some fancy M-lock anyway. But here is the truth. It has a polished feed ramp, a heavy-duty bolt, and it locks back on the last round. If you scratch it, you won't cry about it. For a truck gun or a basic home defense build, the Anderson is the benchmark because it is built to the standard, not built to a fancy marketing sheet. If you wait for a better deal on the base platform, you might just be waiting until 2026 when the shelves are bare. The bridge. The AR platform is fantastic for defense and general utility, but when you need surgical precision on small targets without breaking the bank on a centerfire bolt gun, we need to talk about the quiet side of the spectrum, the rimfire. Savage Mark II, FVSR. We swing back to rimfire, but we are trading semi-automatic speed for surgical accuracy. The Savage Mark II FVSR is without a doubt the biggest sleeper in the gunsmith's catalog right now. If you want to shoot the wings off a fly at 50 yards, this is the tool. The SR in the name stands for suppressor ready. This model comes straight from the factory with a 16.5-inch heavy fluted barrel that is threaded 1/2 inch by 28 at the muzzle. That heavy barrel profile is key because it adds rigidity. A stiffer barrel vibrates less when the bullet travels down the bore, which means your harmonics are consistent, shot after shot. That translates to tight, ragged groupings on paper. But the real magic here is the trigger. Savage uses their ACUT rigger system, which is user-adjustable. It features that center blade safety design, similar to a Glock, but it allows you to dial the trigger weight down to a feather-light level without sacrificing safety. When you press it, there is zero creep. It is just a clean break, like a glass rod snapping. The stock is a lightweight synthetic material that, frankly, is its only weak spot. It feels a little hollow, but the action compensates for it. The bolt handle is oversized, giving you tremendous leverage to cycle the action quickly. If you combine this little beast with a decent rimfire suppressor and subsonic ammunition, the sound of the firing pin striking the rim is louder than the actual shot. It is an absolute tactical pleasure for under $300, and it teaches precision you won't get from dumping cheap bulk ammo through an AR. This teaches trigger control, which is a skill that carries over to every other firearm you will ever own. The bridge. That rimfire precision is excellent for practice, but when the range extends out to 600 yards and you need repeatable accuracy in a rifle that isn't strictly dedicated to bench rest shooting, we need a bolt gun with tactical pedigree. Ruger Precision Rifle. Think long-range accuracy without the pretentious price tag. The Ruger Precision Rifle rolls up with a pragmatic attitude. This rifle is built around long-range functionality, heavy, free-floated barrel, adjustable stock geometry, and a chassis that eliminates the guesswork from your hold. You will see this most often in two configurations: 6.5 Creedmoor for long-range home defense thinking, and 308 for old-school proven ballistics. Both speak the same language, repeatable groupings when you do your part. What it feels like on the range is stable and predictable. The weight absorbs a lot of the recoil impulse, which helps you practice follow-up shots and really read your impacts. It is not a lightweight mountain rifle for hiking, but put it on a bag or a bipod, and it will return calm shots and an easy wind reading. The adjustable Ruger Marksman trigger is a major strong point, allowing fine customization of your break point. Downsides? The muzzle blast can be loud without the proper brake, and the chassis ergonomics, somewhat squared off, are not everyone's favorite for a fast mount. Field tip: dial in your cheek rest and your buttstock spacers ahead of time, and pair it with a moderately magnified optic. None of the components here hide poor fundamentals. This rifle demands you shoot it well, and in return, it gives you performance that used to require paying a gunsmith triple the asking price. This proves you don't need to spend $2,000 to hit targets at 800 yards. You need smart engineering like this power bedding system. The bridge. Precision is king when you are stretching the legs of your rifle. But what if the mission changes entirely and you need a compact carbine that runs on the same logistics as your primary sidearm? Wanda. Kel-Tec Sub 2000, Gen 3. At number 6, we have the Kel-Tec Sub 2000, specifically the Generation 3 model. For years, this rifle was a love-hate relationship. Shooters loved that it folded in half into a 16 by 7 inch package that fits into a laptop bag. But they hated that you couldn't fold it with a red dot sight mounted on top. Well, Kel-Tec finally listened. The Gen 3 features a pivoting handguard. With a simple twist, the handguard and your optic swing out of the way before the barrel folds back. That changes the game for deployment speed. You slap it open, twist the handguard back on, and your zero holds true. This turns it from a novelty into a legitimate truck weapon or an essential piece of your go bag. Mechanically, this is a 9mm direct blowback carbine. Because it has a 16-inch barrel, you get a massive velocity boost compared to a handgun. Standard 115 grain 9mm loads achieve significant velocity, impacting with energy levels closer to a .357 Magnum. That extra barrel length squeezes every last drop of performance out of the pistol caliber. The other major selling point is magazine compatibility. You can buy these configured to accept Glock, Smith & Wesson, or Sig Sauer magazines. If you carry a Glock 19 on your hip, this carbine uses those same stick magazines. That logistical simplicity is worth its weight in gold when the chips are down. The charging handle is ambidextrous. The trigger has improved over the mushy mess of the Gen 2, and the recoil, while snappy due to the direct blowback action, is manageable. It's ugly, it's weird, and it works like hell when you need compact firepower. The bridge. We've covered the compact logistics weapon, now let's return to the AR platform. But this time we are looking for an upgrade in reliability that justifies spending slightly more than the Anderson sticker price. Sigwer 516 Mohawk. This is your pragmatic, efficient AR when you want the piston reliability without turning the whole package into a precision chassis. The Sig Sauer 516 Mohawk incorporates a short-stroke gas piston into the familiar AR-style design. What you get is a rifle that runs cleaner, stays cooler, and won't get finicky after a long day of running rounds through the action. It is the type of platform that allows you to concentrate on the fundamentals: trigger, sight picture, and trigger manipulation, instead of constantly tending to the gas tube. Shouldering it feels modern and balanced. The piston system reduces the nasty heat transfer to the bolt carrier group, so your cycling components behave more predictably during extended bursts. Regarding recoil, it is lively but manageable. Pair it with a modest compensator, and you will achieve faster follow-up shots than a comparable direct impingement build. The controls are typically ambidextrous and easy to manipulate, a real advantage when swapping shoulders or training a partner. Where it wins is durability in rough use, consistent extraction, and less carbon buildup on the top end where it matters. Where it concedes, the piston systems add a bit of complexity and cost over a basic rifle, and you will pay for that extra reliability. Field tip: set your rail torque and gas block components to spec. Spend time zeroing a practical optic and keep a spare bolt carrier group inspection key in your range kit. The maintenance interval is longer, but it still matters once you start racking up the miles. The bridge. We have looked at piston ARs and direct impingement rifles, but what about when the requirement is pure, unadulterated, long-range stopping power in a package that doesn't weigh you down for a high-altitude stalk rit? Savage Axis 2 XP. Coming in at number 8 is the Savage Axis 2 XP. The XP designation means extra package, which means this rifle comes from the factory with a 3 to 9 power scope already mounted and zeroed. For a new hunter or someone on a tight budget, that eliminates the headache of sourcing rings, bases, and optics separately. Now, the original Savage Axis was known for having a heavy, gritty trigger. The Axis II fixed that by including the legendary ACU trigger. This is the same trigger system found in their high-end precision rifles. It uses a center safety blade that must be depressed before the sear releases, allowing for a light, crisp shot that is completely drop-safe. Having such a good trigger in a budget rifle is almost unfair to the competition. The action is machined from a solid bar of steel, and the bolt features a floating bolt head. This design allows the bolt face to self-center and align perfectly with the breech face every time you close it. That consistent lockup is why Savage rifles are notoriously accurate, often shooting sub-minute of angle groups straight out of the box with factory ammo. The stock is basic synthetic polymer. It is light and weather-resistant, though nothing fancy to look at. It comes in short-action calibers like 6.5 Creedmoor and long-action powerhouses like the 30-06. You get a button-rifled carbon steel barrel that wonderfully stabilizes home defense loads. This is not a safe queen. It is a meat gun. You buy it, you zero it, and you go hunt your deer. Simple as that. It takes the components of a much more expensive rifle and puts them in your hands affordably. The bridge. We've covered the budget hunter, but now let's transition to the absolute bleeding edge of lightweight engineering. We are talking about shedding every single ounce possible without sacrificing the ballistic integrity required for ethical long-range shots in the mountains. Proof Research. Tundra TX. If you want the absolute lightest rifle that still behaves like a serious precision tool, the Proof Research Tundra TEX is where that conversation begins and usually ends. This monster combines a titanium receiver with a carbon fiber wrapped barrel and a stock that refuses to get in the way of accuracy. The entire concept is to go farther while carrying less weight. You are trading a significant chunk of cash for a rifle that won't destroy your back on a long trek and will still print tight groups when the wind allows you to shoot it properly. How does it shoot? Crisp, smooth to the shoulder, and with notably less muzzle rise than you would expect from something so light. The carbon barrel absorbs vibration and rings true, and the titanium action sheds ounces without feeling fragile. You still get that solid bolt feel. Do not let lightweight make you think it is a toy. This is a serious platform for hunting, the mountain rifle. Expect sub-minute of angle potential when you do your part, and feed it decent match or premium factory ammunition. Where it shines is high country hunting. Long shots under optics where every ounce matters. Where it concedes is the price point is high, and variable grain factory loads or hand loads will expose limitations that a heavier conventional barrel setup might hide. Field tip. Spend time dialing in the stock spacers to nail down your cheek weld. Run a moderate break compatible with suppressors if legal, and test 3 to 5 factory loads to find the ammunition your specific chamber likes. That combination is the key to reliable sub-MOA performance when you are miles from the truck. There you have it, gentlemen. 9 rifles that truly earn their place on the bench, in the deer stand, or on the mountain crest. Some of these are built for volume training, others for raw power, and some are just plain outstanding value engineering. We have the tactical piston reliability of the SIG, the sheer undeniable utility of the Anderson, and the feather-light precision of the Proof Research. The common thread? They are tools, not toys. They are built on sound mechanics, not marketing hype. If you own any of these platforms, you need to get out there and run them until they are smoking hot. Stop waiting for the perfect expensive rifle and get to work with what's reliable today. Train hard, master your sight picture, and dominate the fundamentals. If you own any of these workhorses, let me know how they are performing for you in the comments below. Do you trust the heavy hitter, the 7.62, or the cheap rimfire for your needs? Let me know what burns you up about this list, boys. Spill it below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and drop a comment. Stay sharp.